Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Ha, you said it.
Oh,
Welcome to Sexy Nerd Science, Season 4, Episode...
6.
You sound so enthused.
I'm still mad that I didn't go hello there.
Tricked you. All right, so just before we get into it, today's show is brought to you by Audible.com, where you can go to SexyNerdScience.com/Audible or audibletrial.com/SexyNerdScience and get a month trial and one free audiobook download for that month trial. And it helps us out get a little bit of, we'll call it content revenue in here. And lets us do things like this next bit here. Josh, what's happening this week? Probably actually as we're driving.
Yeah, as people are listening to this, we hope that you are driving to Kansas City for Planet Comicon. We will be at Planet Comicon, me and Drew.
Ooh.
This specific chair will be there. This backdrop will be there. These mics will be there. And Dale will be there, who's not here right now.
You can touch the stuff we touch.
Yeah, you could feel our sets.
Giggity.
And just my normal just stare at the camera and just feel the set. But yeah, we'll be at Planet Comicon February 16th, February 18th. We will actually be there a little early. Probably going to catch a movie in Kansas City, see some friends. But if you want to see us at Planet Comicon, we will be at booth number 3805.
That's 3805 for anybody that does not know. Was it sets of numbers? What do they call it when you grouping? Yeah, whatever.
Yes. And also, oh geez, well, we're talking numbers. I had this conversation the other day with somebody. When you're saying something that is just numbers, if you use the word O, then of course you mean 0. Like for a telephone number, for instance, if I say 402, people aren't thinking I mean the letter O when I'm telling them a telephone number. However, when I'm using other codes or things that could use letters or numbers, I should always make sure to say 0 instead of O. But yeah, a lot of people
most alphanumeric sets of characters, like your VIN number will not use the letter O. They will only use a 0.
Oh, well, our coupon codes at work use O's and zeros.
They use O's and zeros?
Yes, and their zeros don't have the line through them.
So it's just like a slightly
O's.
Oblong.
Yeah, it sucks. Oh man,
that's weird. Well, I guess that's a self-made coupon code though, right?
Yeah,
that's your
randomly
problem.
Generated.
Really? Random?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not like, the computer program randomly generates them and assigns those codes to be used for other things.
Because like I know a lot of companies, they will give you their free coupon code, and that's something that some programmer just was like, free AT&T .
Speaking of free coupon code, I do know of some people that have used our Audible trial.
Yeah.
So yes, and comments from them range from, "This is awesome. I really wish I had audiobook sooner," to, "Great, I already finished Ready Player One and I only get one free audiobook a month. One audiobook a month. What am I supposed to do?" So
you can upgrade your audiobook subscription.
You can also purchase credits like ad hoc if you want to. And they also have some deals every once in a while where you can purchase like 3 credits for the price of 1.
It's not bad.
And you just got to keep up to date with things like that and pick out good books. I'm still reading Everything All at Once.
Still ringing in the new year?
Yeah. Reading Bill Nye the Science Guy, Everything All at Once. Pretty good.
Actually, were you reading or listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson physics for people in a hurry.
Yes, astrophysics for people in a hurry.
So I actually listened to the Joe Rogan podcast today with Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he was promoting that book that hadn't gone out yet. And I mean, it's like I think a couple months old or whichever, but
yeah, it's relatively new.
Yeah, but it was just funny. I was like, man, Josh already read this. I'm behind on my Joe Rogan podcast. But yeah, it was just funny. I really am gonna start trying to utilize that more with being able to listen to my headphones more often throughout the day. So I'm excited for that. But yes, back to Planet Comicon. So we are at booth 3805 or 3805. We are on, what will it be? It's the west side of the Bartle Hall.
I think we're actually on the east side of Bartle Hall.
North.
That map wasn't set up in cardinal directions.
That map's orientation
is north that way.
No.
Pretty sure.
This my toes are burning. This orientation, this long length here is on the west side of Bartle Hall.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yahweh.
No way.
The
main entrance is north. The building runs north-south, and we come in through the north side of the building for the main entrance.
Yes, but so we are on the west side. This is the east side. This is the
that
north.
Way is north. North.
No, that's
south.
This is north.
It's not. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, you can. You're more than welcome to. By the way, Planet Comicon, if you're listening to this, you guys might need a compass rose somewhere on your, somewhere on the actual map, because then me and Drew won't have these kind of debates where I school him on what's north and what's not. Get a Google Maps view of it if you want. Okay, so there's
Bartle Hall.
Yep, there's the Barney Alice Plaza, and we go in under. Oh, zoom in a little more. So 13th Street goes underneath Bartle Hall. We go down 13th Street, walk into the main entrance, and the main entrance is the north side of the building.
Okay,
so we would be on the.
I thought it was I thought it was upside down.
Obviously. Hello there.
I was really yeah.
Yep, we come in through the north side every time.
Huh. Are you sure?
We will get a compass.
13th Street, yeah.
We will get a compass. So there's the entrance exit, like right there.
Where's Wyandotte then?
Wyandotte?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So, because it's Crown Plaza, so we go there. Yep, because it's Damn.
I love how they show you where the drinking fountains are in there. Google Maps, you're getting so good at this. But everybody, we will be at Bartle Hall, 3805.
So yeah, we are technically on the east side of the building.
Yep. East side.
But we're fairly close to the entrance is where I was going with that.
Yes.
So we're like right next to the main, what we will assume is the main escalator, per our previous years there. But yeah, so that being said, anything you're looking forward to, Josh?
Moving
into the
no. Well, we have a special birthday that we're going to celebrate while we're there.
Do you want to just put one couch in front of the Tesla and leave the Tesla there and sleep in the Tesla in Bartle Hall?
Honestly,
we should have just not.
I'm really upset that I can't pack my memory foam mattress and everything. Like, there's part of me that wants to like drive back Friday morning super early, pick up my memory foam mattress, and drive all the way back to Kansas City.
Yeah, but then you'd have to drive back and drop off your memory foam mattress.
I know, but
couldn't we just roll it up and vacuum seal it?
Good luck. it sucks because I really want a nice, comfortable place to sleep when we go down there.
You're gonna have a bed.
What are you and Tasha gonna sleep on?
I'll sleep on the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, Tasha's only gonna be there for one night, I think.
Yeah, and she can have the bed that night if she's there.
But anyway,
pregnant people in their needs for beds.
So, but yeah, go ahead. What are you most excited for? Besides,
I was gonna say there's a birthday party, and I'm really excited to celebrate a birthday party while we're there. I get to do the whole Chili's birthday party song that I haven't done forever.
Happy birthday to all of us from you. And if you don't eat Chili's, then you can suck it.
No, that's not the Chili's song. I don't even know. I think it was just happy birthday, to be honest. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. Just seeing all the friendly faces, seeing all the celebrity guests. I'm just really excited. I think this is going to be the best con we've been at yet.
Oh, still excited for Jason to Frank, even though he probably hates everybody's guts. Just kidding. He doesn't hate everybody.
You know who does hate everybody? The Philadelphia Eagles.
They even hate themselves
because
they would destroy their own town.
They destroyed their own town because they won the Super Bowl. Since the last time we recorded, it was on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and I watched the Super Bowl. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I watched highlights. I watched highlights while it was happening. So like I basically
actually, you know what I'm really excited for? I just realized this.
What?
I'm sorry to go back.
We can spend the whole time talking about Comic-Con.
I want to make a funny video before we go.
Oh,
and I'm gonna need your help. I don't know if I told you about it or not.
You're talking about the Tesla video?
No, I'm talking about
the packing video.
No,
even before that.
Mute us real quick.
Mute us. Oh my gosh, this is so much pressure.
Yeah,
that is a great idea, Josh. Now we have 3 great ideas for our trip to Kansas City.
I'm super excited. And the best thing is, Dale, when you're editing this, do not cut out that part. I want people to see
the creative process.
Of us just talking, and someone who reads lips, who's like, I think they're gonna do this. And so I really want to do that, and I think it would be so funny. We just have to get the ingredients together to make it look funny. But we could also just do something else that, you don't need the vinegar and baking soda.
Yeah.
And now they don't even know what we're going to do.
Vinegar and baking soda. They're going to make a volcano.
Yeah. But we're also going to need an elephant's trunk.
That guy's prosthetic arm.
That guy's prosthetic arm. And
a battery.
And meet me in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Hoboken? What's in Hoboken? So yeah, I mean, man, there's so much. I'm excited for the drive.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, just back to Planet Comicon again.
Like I said, we could spend the whole time. I'm excited for the drive. I'm excited to test some new equipment out. I'm excited to test some new configurations out with our setup. Just get stuff going. I mean, it's nice to be able to do this and not have to worry about the time crunch, having the day off. Hold 1 second. And we're back. All right. So
normally we have Dale to fill in while we're talking over here.
So yeah, during the Super Bowl though, we'll kick back over to the Super Bowl and the rest of our news here. During the Super Bowl, we definitely got a lot of great commercials. What did you see any that you really liked?
Yeah. Yep. But I can't say it, because if I say it, then people know what our thing's gonna be, and I can't.
I was a fan of the Doritos Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah, but I saw it beforehand, so I like it. The hype of it being like a Super Bowl commercial had already, like, there was no allure there. I just thought it was a regular commercial. So, but I mean, I don't know if they went into more depth in the Super Bowl ad or what, but
Not that I saw. I was really stoked, and it's probably our next bit of news here. I had no idea there was going to be a Han Solo teaser trailer.
ooh, yeah.
And I didn't know, and I was just like, oh my goodness, Han Solo. Like, I started seeing it, and I was like, no. And Brittany was like, what? And I was like, no.
And she was like, what?
And I was like, oh my God, I can't.
And she was
believe
like,
it.
Josh, just tell me.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know what you're freaking out about. I was like, you have no idea what I could be freaking out about. And
so
like,
yeah.
Oh my God, Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, that Donald Glover, man.
Oh,
He's that's pretty much all anybody's talked about too.
I think more people are excited for Donald Glover's
Like,
Lando
this is
anything else.
They could have said this was a Lando. Like, this could have been called Lando, and I think people would have been just as, if not more, excited about it.
There's a possibility, a lot of people are rumoring it, that there's going to be a Ben Kenobi appearance in the movie from Ewan McGregor. That's going to, like, launch into the next prequel movie for a Kenobi standalone film. And if that's the case, I'm really, like, I'm gonna freak out during the movie if that happens, because
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's tough to. I don't know. I think that I don't know if Ben Kenobi's, like.
you be careful of the next words out of your mouth.
I don't know if Ben Kenobi has the the impact as far as, like, Han Solo or Luke. Like, just like the fan impact. Or the namesake. I don't know what the word I'm trying to say is. I don't think
The fan following, like the cult following.
not even, like, 'cause I know that there's people who like Ben Kenobi, but I don't think, like, I know people know Han Solo who don't watch Star Wars, and people who, like,
I've had people be like, what does Obi-Wan Kenobi mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you don't know Obi-Wan Kenobi, like old Ben Kenobi?
Yeah.
Like, and I say these names and people are like, no, I have no idea what
you're
you're
talking about. That's the thing. So, like, I think that Han Solo and Luke Skywalker are household names, even if you don't like Star Wars or not familiar with the Star Wars lore. But I don't think Ben Kenobi has, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi has the same effect.
What better way to get him into a movie, though, than have him be in the movie that everybody, like,
but the thing is people will hear about Han Solo, and this is just my thought process. People will hear about the Han Solo movie and go, okay, I understand, but I just don't think this, like, studios have, like, I mean, I honestly think Han Solo and, like, the origin stories are kind of stretching it in themselves. I mean, like I said, more Star Wars is always a good thing, and I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
but I still think that the Solo movies are stretching it. It's like the X-Men Origins. They're going to get one off, and it's not going to. I don't think personally it'll go it'll be okay. They'll break even. They'll make some money, but I don't think it'll get them enough traction to do other solos. Just like Wolverine.
Well,
they had 8.
Solo is the second movie in a Star Wars story.
What do you mean?
So they have like the regular the saga right now, the prequels, original trilogy, and then now the sequels. So they have the saga going, which all have episode names. And then there's a Star Wars story, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Han Solo, a Star Wars story, Yoda, a Star Wars story, so they're doing these other things. Rogue One was a very successful
Rogue
Star
One
Wars
was a
story.
very successful, but it wasn't based on a namesake. I mean, it was the story of,
But it made the namesake.
but
Galen Erso was somebody who was mentioned in the EU back in the day.
And well, so I understand, but Rogue One, it was always, to me, I guess to me it was always sold as the filler between the two, the saga. So it's the filler between the prequels and the original trilogy, and it was basically you knew what happened, but the prequels, and then you knew what happened right before, or right after Rogue One. I mean, the movie ends with the beginning of, episode 4. So to me, that made sense, but I don't know, and maybe it's just we haven't figured out enough yet, or I haven't read enough, but where Solo falls in the timeline, is it because a Star Wars story, it doesn't, that to me is not a trilogy. That's a moniker for a spattering of Star Wars films that are
it's basically it's like having movies of the EU,
and which is fine, but like I said, with X-Men Origins Wolverine, I think that Rogue One did well. I think Wolverine was okay, but I just think Solo will be like Wolverine.
There was a sequel to Wolverine too.
What do you mean?
There was another sequel to X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Do you mean the Japanese Wolverine?
Yeah.
That wasn't it wasn't X-Men's, it wasn't the origin. The origin stories were supposed to be X-Men Origins Wolverine, X-Men Origins Magneto, X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
But so the Wolverine, the Japanese Wolverine, I can't remember what it was, because it wasn't called X-Men Origins.
I think it was just called The Wolverine.
The Wolverine, which wasn't, it was just another story within the Wolverine universe, which I mean, a fucking giant mecha Wolverine. I mean, did you see that movie?
I mean, you mean Silver Samurai?
Yeah, but I mean, basically,
I mean that's what it was. I mean, the adamantium samurai thing. I don't know. I think what you're. I like listening to you talk like this, because every time you talk, I'm like, and that's why they're making a Han Solo movie, because they're like, it's just filler for what happens in between things. And I was like, yeah, Rogue One was filler for what happened in between the prequels and the original trilogy, and Han Solo is in that same area. But that's also, that's what Star Wars has been doing since for a while. We wanted to know what happened between episodes 2 and 3. So we got the Clone Wars TV series, which is fantastic. We wanted to know what happened between 3 and 4. So we've got Star Wars Rebels, and that's fantastic. We've got Rogue One. Now we're adding Solo into there. You want to know what happens, on Tatooine between the prequels, so here's, your Ben Kenobi story. You want to know what happened before the events of, the Phantom Menace. Well, let's give you a Yoda story, things like that. Those are all possible.
but those were also
hearing that.
Those were also very or smaller budgeted items, or smaller budget productions. Like I said, I think that it will be a good movie. I don't think it won't make money. I just don't know if it will like it's gonna have to depend on the character. If they do Lando, which I think will get most of his story with the Solo movie, I would assume. I mean, or enough of it.
I'd hope so.
Hope Solo. So, but if it's, I mean, you'd have to have a bit. I mean, you'd have to have a big enough name. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be Ewan McGregor still.
Yes, but I mean, do you think if it's Ben Kenobi that it'll pull in the same audience or as big of an audience as Han Solo?
I think it would probably be the same, if not bigger. Yes.
Because I mean, my assumption is that only the diehards are going to go see Solo.
I think everybody who saw Rogue One is going to see Solo,
which was pretty much only the people who. I mean, at this point, it's us and our kids, or us and our nieces and nephews that we're dragging along to these movies.
Rogue One was a fairly decent size. I mean, that was a pretty good box office success.
I mean, it was not. It's not a success. I'm just saying I don't think it got near as.
I mean, it definitely wasn't The Force Awakens.
No.
But I mean, as far as The Last Jedi is concerned, I bet it's right up there.
Yeah, but that's because people told us their opinions of The Last Jedi before it came out, and it swayed people's opinions. Damn Mark Hamill.
That didn't do anything.
I think it did. If you have Luke Skywalker saying that's not how I would have, that's not my Luke Skywalker.
But then he came back out and was like, now seeing the final product, I think that it couldn't have been. Like,
he did that,
like it was a better job.
He still said he said that he respects the creative idea. It's just still not how he would have had.
That's not what he said. Like, Mark Hamill's final opinion on The Last Jedi is that is exactly how it should have played out. He didn't have the vision. Mark Hamill didn't have a good enough vision for how it was going to play out. But
I don't know.
The Last Jedi, but that's what I mean. Like, so a lot of people like didn't like The Last Jedi, but it still had a huge opening weekend. Granted, I can't find it. I was going to go see a movie this week, and it's not even out in theaters anymore. I mean, I guess it's been like 2 months, but I just wanted it to be in theaters longer.
We can go see it at the P Theater.
Maybe. But still, Han Solo trailer, awesome.
Yeah.
Did not expect that from the Super Bowl. And then it was just a teaser trailer. The next day, the actual Han Solo trailer came out. And that was awesome. But
I liked a lot of the throwbacks.
Yeah.
Those were nice.
Speaking of other movies and movie trailers and stuff.
Speaking of Throwback Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday, when we get to Kansas City, we are going to try to catch a showing of Black Panther. We should definitely try to get that done at the place with the beer. I can't remember
the Alamo.
The Alamo Draft House, Kansas City. We should try to go see it there. But yeah, we should go see the Black Panther on Thursday because I think it's going to be epic. I think Black Panther's going to be like the Wonder Woman of the Marvel universe.
It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah, I think it's just going to blow everybody away. Like, critics are going to be wowed, and it looks really good. So I'm really excited to see Black Panther, like really excited. So I definitely want to do that when we're in Kansas City.
So we'll definitely hopefully try and review it while we're in Kansas City too. Maybe do a little sit down.
I just don't want to spoil it for anybody. Like, if we're doing anything live at Kansas City, I don't want anybody to be like, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, we could totally. I mean, we could ask, hey, have you seen Black Panther yet?
That's true.
It's only been a day.
I watched Wonder Woman today, so now I've got the crazy metal. Yeah, I've got like the metal riff stuck in my head. Just like, Wonder Woman. Yes. Yeah, so Black Panther. And then just kind of something that I wanted to talk about on a personal note here. I really started getting into like science education and science stuff when I was working with Ken Schroeder, who was one of the heads of education at the Air and Space Museum here in Nebraska. And then he ended up doing his own private business called the Science Guys that I helped him run for a summer. And while I was helping him with the Science Guys and really loving that, I also worked part-time at a diner that Ken owned. So Ken owned the diner, and later his future husband and him both, co-own the diner now. And there was word that got out to the news that a hotel chain had bought the property from the original leaseholder, without the people at the diner even knowing. They didn't even know the property was up for sale. The leaseholder for the property was just like, hey, by the way, I'm selling this place. So
How
move.
much notice did they give him?
I mean, they have a couple months. They'll probably finish the summer here. College World Series time, they should be open for it.
Yeah.
That's a huge time for business. But it's just for those of you guys that live in the Omaha metro area, the diner is located on 12th and Harney.
Is that the little like
stainless steel diner there?
Yeah,
right across from Blue Sushi and
oh wow.
Yep. Known for just awesome food.
Yeah, they've got really good food. I think I
like
went there before you worked there.
The best bacon I've ever had.
They probably bake it.
They do. Well,
pro tip:
bake it with maple sugar or brown sugar and maple syrup on it.
Yeah, pro tip: bake your bacon.
Always.
It's not called bacon so you can put it on a skillet.
Bake it, get it nice and warm, and then like heat it up just before you eat it on the skillet. That's what I do.
You bake that shit, pull it right out, and put it in your mouth. Mouth burns are for champions.
I like get it nice and soft and then cook it to order on a skillet. So if someone needs cook it in the oven, but if someone wants like soft bacon, just throw it on the burner for a little bit, squirt some water on it, get it nice and steamed up.
Water?
Yeah, so it steams when it's on the skillet.
Water?
Have you never steamed anything before?
How would you taint that beautiful piece of bacon with water?
Okay, so for those listening on the podcast, when you heat water past its boiling point, it burns off, not taking any of the flavor with it. But it does release heat as it's doing so.
Water?
I think you're missing the point. Like it's like spritz of water on the pan to make it go and sizzle while you
don't put it on a hot pan already?
You do, but
then it sizzles. It sizzles regardless.
Not always. If your bacon's already hot,
then if your bacon's already hot, then you shouldn't need to.
But if you want to cook it to order, if you want to have it, soggy and go out, boom. If you want to have it crispy, you keep it on the pan for a little while longer until it starts crisping up. Then you take it off.
Oh, my bacon cooks at 350 degrees for 22 minutes, and it is perfect.
22 minutes?
22 minutes.
If you pick it up, does it go limp or does it stay straight?
It's like it's like straight, but then like if you hold it there for more than like 5 seconds, then it just slowly goes down.
No, I like limp and floppy bacon.
So you do it for 20 minutes and then
I should be able to like take my bacon and go like this, and it would be like
it's got a little rigidity to it.
No,
but it's malleable.
Anyway, my mom makes bacon, and it is the crispiest, grossest bacon I've ever had.
It's like
you touch it and it just crumbles. It
turns into
like bacon bits.
What's the dog thing? Bacon bits, bacon strips,
bacon strips.
Those
are even soft and good. However, while we're talking about bacon, so first things first, diner has awesome bacon. Everybody, if you can, try to support the diner in the old market in Omaha while it's still there. I know Ken and Rick are trying to either move the diner or find another restaurant that they can open it up as the new diner. There's no hope in saving that location, so that's out of the bag. but they're trying to raise some money. There is a GoFundMe that I can find a link to, and we'll put it in our description for this or on the webpage. Try to support the diner, save them, because Ken and Rick are good people, and just, I mean, the diner is fantastic. But okay, so bacon. When I was at it was just around February last year when I was in Colorado at Project Cosplay for the second year. David Edwards from Gregor on Geeks had a pack of bacon jerky, which is like the greatest thing in the world. Because, like, have you ever thought to yourself, like, man, I could use some bacon, but I don't want to wait 22 minutes to cook some. You just open up your bag of bacon jerky and pull some bacon jerky out and eat it. And it is just as good.
Is it like dehydrated bacon?
Yes. I mean, it's jerky. It's like bacon, but they just made it into jerky. And it's delicious. So much so that, like, I even made omelets at one point in time and cut it up and, like, threw it in my omelet while I was making it, just to, like, get it, like, hot.
But so
it
wait,
tasted like bacon in my
I'm
omelet.
confused because, so like when you cook regular jerky, you cook it first and then you dehydrate it, right?
You can, yeah.
So
Or you can salt it like crazy.
I was gonna say, so is it the same? I just wonder if it's the same thing for bacon. If you cook the bacon, like on a, bake it, and then you just dehydrate it at a dehydrator.
I'm assuming something very similar to that.
Huh.
But whatever it is, it's fantastic. Like, I wouldn't, if they told me, like, hey, by the way, this is just bacon strips, but for people, I'd be like, sweet, awesome, delicious, and eat it that way, because it is the most delicious thing ever. David Edwards, if you're listening to this, yes, thank you for giving me bacon from a bag. It's the greatest thing in the world, guys. Everybody listening to this needs to have it because it's delicious and wonderful. Ha ha.
Shut up, Gibby.
Sorry. For those of you guys listening on the podcast and not watching our video, Drew just spilled his Sprite.
I didn't spill it. It just tipped over.
It tipped
and
over.
Fizz now.
And fizz now.
I can't open it for like 30 seconds.
Whatever. No. No fizz. Just shoots out the top.
All right. So today in Nerdy News, we got a couple game bits here, but
Gambits?
Game bits. I wish it was Gambit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, why am I not more excited for this?
So I've been watching some streams about a couple of really recent games that have come out. Monster Hunter has taken the world by storm. It's almost like everybody's playing that game right now, and it's very beautiful, very immersive world. I'm not sure. Did you ever play any of the other Monster Hunter games, Josh?
No, I never played Monster Hunter. I've watched Gabe play a bunch of this one.
At your store?
Yeah.
I mean,
not at the store. We don't play video games while we're selling people phones. That would be a gross waste of our time.
In between while you're selling people phones.
On break.
So I've been watching a lot of that, and then also Shadow of Colossus, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but it's a remake of a game like came out like 15 years ago or something like that.
I don't feel like it was that long, but at least 10 years ago for sure.
When did the first Shadow of Colossus game come out?
I think it's the Shadow of the Colossus.
When did the first Shadow of Colossus game come out? Shadow of Colossus is a PlayStation 2, October 2005.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. Whatever. What did I say? Shadow of Colossus?
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense unless you were talking about like the
character
proper
Colossus.
Noun Colossus.
Anyway, Shadow of the Colossus came out in 2006 in PAL regions.
I have no idea, but still, 2005. It's only 12 years ago. Oh, no. Well, 12, 13.
So what did I say? 15 years ago?
Yeah.
So split the difference. But yeah, so it's a remake. The remake looks very beautiful. It's out, available on PlayStation, and
So it's not a port; it's a remake, like new engine and everything.
Yeah, it's completely redone. It's not like it's not just like remastered.
It was a beautiful game back in the day.
Yeah. They said something about one room. I can't remember what room it is, but one area has like 18 times more triangles.
Polygons?
Yeah, polygons than the entire game of the original. The entire game. So just one like room. So the guy said, I don't know. I think the guy said triangles. I don't know why.
I mean,
triangles, polygons.
A triangle is a special type of polygon.
Porygon?
No, it's a triagon, technically.
Porygon? Porygon 2? Do you remember when I was sending those pictures out?
No.
I'll have to show you later. I was sending out this is you, and it was a Porygon. this is you if you worked out, Porygon 2. I was just sending the Pokemon card to people. Anyway, those are both great games that I've been watching.
Fat shaming from Drew.
It's just a smoother, less edgy version of Porygon. So maybe it's not fat shaming. Maybe it's
like don't you want to get like cut and like edgy, and like when you get ripped from working out, like you have more sharp edges.
Something like
rather than like smooth curves all over.
It was more of a, or I don't know. This is you. This is me. Or you, me. Anyway.
By the way, do you understand? I mean, just out of curiosity for those listening, like the reason why they use polygons and why they talk about like more polygons is because there's no real, unless you're using vector graphics, there's no curved edges
in games. So you have
video games.
You have to create the curved edges with different triangles,
with smaller and smaller triangles. So yeah, you have a polygon, or not even triangles, but just any shape with angles. Mm-hmm. So if you can create, so if you look at a hexagon versus an octagon looks more like a circle than a hexagon does. But if you get to like a decagon or something higher than that, it looks even more circular shape. Or if you do a 1,000-sided gon, I can't remember what that is.
Dodecahedron?
I don't remember what it's called. I think it's just called a 1,000-sided gon. And don't Siri it because I don't give a shit. But if you do, it is, it's almost indistinguishable from a circle because there's just so many sides. So the more that your processor allows, you can render more polygons on a screen or in a video game area. So from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, you can render more polygons.
In geometry, a chiliagon or a thousand gon is a polygon with 1,000 sides.
Chiliagon?
Chiliagon.
Cool.
CHILIA gon.
Cool. But yeah, so that's why, like, when they're talking about
that
like
is
polygons,
intense.
Right?
Oh god, I mean, that is practically a circle.
Yep, there's a philosophical object called the 1,000-sided or 1,000-sided like figure, and it has 1,000 sides, and the idea is because you can't see all 1,000 sides at any given time, like, is it really a 1,000-sided figure? Like, how do we describe it since we can only see like a certain face of the object?
Tetradecagon was only 14 sides.
Tetradecagon was only 14. Yeah, okay. So, but yeah, these would all be great questions for you to answer if you were doing some sort of trivia game.
Yeah, that would actually be a great thing for me to answer. Maybe like in HQ trivia. Good segue, Josh.
Right.
Vroom, vroom. So
Segways don't go for 'em.
segues don't go vroom. Yeah. So in our house, we've been recently playing HQ trivia, which is a new fad that we've come across. It's a daily trivia game that you can play from your Apple or Android enabled phone. You can get it on the Google Play Store or the iTunes or was it Apple Store.
It's free to play.
It's free to play. There's an actual cash prize. It basically consists of 12 questions, which gain. It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on your phone. It really is. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was 12 questions. You doubled your prize every time. I'm pretty sure it's 12 questions, right? Or was it? I think it was only like 10.
I think it might have been 10.
Something like, I mean, but so this game is 12 questions. The first one started out very basic. The first question today was who was on the penny? Like Abe Lincoln, and so I mean it's very, very easy in the beginning. But
Did you just call me Abe Lincoln? I can't.
But so they get harder after a while. I haven't made it past like question 5. What are you doing?
You said they get harder, and I was just smiling.
Giggity.
Yeah.
So the best part about the game is there's an actual cash prize. Something like 1.7 million people were playing on Sunday. It's a $2,500 prize. The winners of the game split that. So 12 people won on, or 7 people won on Sunday, which was a $15,000 prize on Sunday when they do HQXL, which is a bigger game. They had a $200,000 prize during the Super Bowl, and I think something like 14 people won that or something like that. So, and there was 2.4 million people playing during the Super Bowl, and there was 1.7 on Sunday night. And they play twice a day. They play at 2 p.m. or 2 in the afternoon, and at 8 p.m. or 8 in the afternoon. It's just really simple, really easy. So 3 answers that you have to. I mean, it's really simple. You have 3 answers, but the questions get pretty hard. So I love trivia. So, but the cash goes direct to your PayPal account. I think you have to win something like more than $13 before they'll move it, which is. I only bring that up because there was a girl who won for the first time. She's been playing it for a while, and she made it into the news and made it on Ellen actually. But she won $11.74 or something to that effect, or something around that figure, and freaked out because she won, and she was just happy that she won, and she wasn't even. It's like $11, so it's not. She didn't win the grand prize or anything, but
that was 11 cheeseburgers.
It's. I mean, yeah. Even if you factor in the 7 cents for, has inflation caught up to McDonald's? Aren't they like
technically it's not? Yeah, you're right. It's if you do make doubles, then it's more expensive.
You could still get the All-American meal, which is a small fries, a hamburger, no cheese, and a small drink for $2.50 or something like that.
Yeah. See, so you could feed the world.
The world with $11.74. So I'm real excited about that.
Have you won any money yet?
I have not won any money. I have not won yet. Like the question that stumped me today was, well, it didn't even stump me because I knew it. I just didn't press the button fast enough because we were debating amongst ourselves. Was what Italian word? What disease shares the Italian word for bad air? And it's malaria. And I knew it was malaria. And we were debating, and I didn't press malaria fast enough. So that's how I lost. You get 10 seconds to answer. It's pretty cool.
I was going to say gelato.
Jello? Gelato?
Yep.
Yeah, so Josh would have lost specifically because gelato wasn't even, it was the answers that the three questions that are answers that they gave you was influenza, asthma, and then malaria. And so, but I've made it to question 5 before, and I have not made it past 5. But I've only been playing it like maybe 12 times.
There's 15 questions on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, by the way.
There is?
Yes.
What did I say? 12?
12, yeah.
And then we said 10.
Well, I didn't say anything, but
You said maybe 10.
yeah, I don't know.
Shut
There's
up,
at
Josh.
least
it's
10.
it's recorded. We can find out.
There's at least 10, and there's also at least 12. But it's
There's 15. So yeah, it was really neat. I liked it. Josh, you should start playing. I mean, worst thing you can do.
The rest of the world will lose money if I start playing, so I'm just gonna let them keep making. You know what, guys?
This podcast needs the money.
Yeah,
you better start playing it.
Win that $10 and go out and sign up for our Patreon, or not Patreon. Well, yeah, you can do our Patreon, or you could do our. Thank you. You could do our Patreon, or you could do our Audible link as well.
Or win more, because you don't win $10 unless 250 other people win. So there's $2,500 cash prize every night. So
like 2,500.
Yeah.
And you split that between 10 people.
You split that between the winners. So if 10 people win, you split it between 10. If 2 people win, you split it between 2. Like the $15,000 prize on Sunday, 7 people won, and it was like each of them got a little over $2,000. Are you laughing at me because I did this?
Counting. I'm just kidding. I don't count like that. But that sounds like fun, I guess. Yeah, I like trivia. I don't know. I've never.
Like you set up an alert, it goes right to my phone.
I want to do trivia. I want to do like a SexyNerdScience trivia day at like one of our local places, like an eatery or something.
Look, HQ is live. That's all it does. It says it's live 2 minutes before. 3 minutes before.
But
speaking of that, I told you about that little thing. We'll talk about it later, but we may have a little space to do that if you want on Wednesday nights.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or any other night. We could do it Monday nights.
Ooh. Well, Thursday's like National Trivia Day.
Really?
Pretty much. Like everywhere you go. Like Thursday.
Well, then we should do it not on Thursday, so that way people come.
We can corner the market on trivia
on Mondays or a different day. All right, so we're gonna get on to sciencey news though. Speaking of trivia and trivial things.
Trivial things.
Why is it called the F9 rocket?
Why is what called the F9 rocket?
Why are the Falcon rockets called the F9s?
Because they have 9 Merlin engines in them, probably. No, that's not right. Maybe. I mean, 27 Merlins were in the Falcon Heavy. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're F9. 9.
That's trivial
information. I guess that's trivia information. Trivial makes it sound like it's minor, not necessary. So for those of you guys that don't know, I was more excited about this than I was the Super Bowl. The Falcon Heavy Launch.
I recorded that shit on my phone.
You recorded it on your phone?
Yeah. I used the Apple recording because I was like, I don't want to miss a freaking beat of this.
Because I don't want to miss a thing.
And even if I dream of you.
Yep.
The sweetest dreams are never true. I still miss you, baby.
Drew likes to add his name into songs. But yes, so history was in the making. By far the closest to witnessing a live Apollo launch for my generation was probably watching the Falcon Heavy launch. It was huge. It was huge. I was blown away.
Biggest spectacle of the decade.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
I mean, of like the 2010s decade.
Yeah.
There's still like 2 years left, man.
Okay, the biggest spectacle so far.
Oh man, I don't know now. Put me on the spot.
You can't tell us that like the eclipse. I will tell you, seeing the eclipse was something that I never thought I'd make a trip to see. Doesn't happen literally everywhere at all the time.
Pretty much.
That for me, I mean, there's nothing else in technology or what we'll call astronomically, or I mean, maybe not astronomically, but there's no technological advancement in the last decade that I think beats out this past week.
I don't know if I could say that. I will say it was definitely better than the Super Bowl for sure.
Well, yeah. Nobody cared about those teams.
It was more meaningful for sure than the Super Bowl. So for those of you guys that don't know, it was a successful launch of the Falcon Heavy. All 3 rockets lifted off without problem. They got their payload up to the correct altitude, released the payload. Side rockets 1 and 2 detached, and landed simultaneously back on land.
My God, that was
so
beautiful,
freaking awesome to watch. That is totally true. And then the 3rd rocket burnt too much fuel, and the firing mechanism didn't turn back on in time. So it crashed into one of the barge's engines at about 300 miles an hour.
So that came down crashing.
Yeah, it came by pretty fast. So that one did not survive. However, none of those cores were going to be used again anyways. So it wasn't that big of a problem.
Were any of them reused?
Yes, the 2 on the sides were used twice before. So
they got three out of those.
Correct.
Huh.
So, and they went off and landed just fine.
Question.
And those were actually...
You said none of them will be used again, so are they retiring those?
Correct. Well, those 2 were...
those 2...
like Mark III models, and they're on the Mark V model right now.
So do you think that it's out of the realm of possibility for those to ever fire again, though, even though...
I mean, there's no reason.
At this point,
probably
it's
go
fun.
To a museum, if anything.
I was going to say, at this point, it would be fun money, right? I mean, they could throw another Tesla up in space for that.
It's just that those aren't. I mean, they're not going to learn anything from launching those rockets anymore.
You're right, but also I'm not throwing these TVs away because they're still usable. You know.
I mean, eventually you will, though.
Yeah, but that's when they don't work anymore.
No, not always. You throw a TV out when the technology surpasses.
You do not know me then.
I have seen you throw out things when the technology for the new thing surpasses the old, or sell it or get rid of it and not use it again. That happens all the time.
Only if it benefits in the the acquisition of the new thing,
which it probably would. So I mean, if SpaceX were to sell those 2 rockets to a museum or a private collector,
which that I understand.
That. It's just the new rockets use a different technology for them, so they're not going to be using an old rocket for that.
I know. I'm just saying, like, you don't think that SpaceX would use that for like just fun? I mean, it's Elon's company. You don't think he'll use it for throwing a mannequin up into space?
No, because God forbid you use an old ass rocket and
something explodes.
Yeah, it flies into Orlando and just explodes. Like, I mean, why would you ever want to do that? Like, it's not the technology that you want to use. It's not going to benefit you to use old stuff.
But it has worked in the past 3 times without fail.
Yeah, on rockets that are designed to be used no more than 5 times as of right now.
Well, you still have 2 in the tank.
More. Yeah. it's just I don't think they want to try that.
I think
especially because, like I said, they developed.
I think
new
they
rockets.
said. I think they said that so that if there was an instance, they were like, "Hey, we're probably not going to use these again. So if they blow up, it's no loss to us."
Well, that's exactly why they did it. Like they're like, this could go 100 feet away from the launch pad and explode, and SpaceX is going to call it a successful launch because they would have learned more in the 100 feet test of that rocket than they would have had they not done a test. Like the amount of information they would have learned from an unsuccessful launch like that would still be an awesome achievement for them. So that's why they're like, who cares?
But that's what I'm saying is like, I think there's a difference between saying, hey, we could learn a lot if this doesn't work, and saying, hey, if this doesn't work, it doesn't matter because we aren't going to launch it ever again. Because it takes a liability off of them as far as that as an asset. Like if you say, hey, I'm never going to use this roll of toilet paper again, to me, it's worthless. So whatever happens to it, we're okay. Well, that roll of toilet paper is perfectly fine and pristine. So you're going to just let it sit there. I mean
a roll of toilet paper isn't going to catastrophically fail and possibly kill somebody. I mean,
but
like it's like having, say for instance,
that roll of
like,
toilet paper has worked in the past.
Hey, this was my grandpa's rifle from World War I, and
you get it tested and it worked at one point in time, and it was well taken care of. You could fire it again at some point. That's how they do antique guns shows.
But you know what happens now when they fire those antique guns? Like most of the time, like
sometimes
catastrophically fail and blow out the barrel.
Sometimes, if they're not taken care of.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like,
do you watch Pawn Stars? Have you seen that bald guy?
Fake.
Have you seen that guy shoot those fake guns?
Yeah, I have. It's stupid because Pawn Stars is fake. I'm just saying, like,
get Josh
when you have an old musket or something, you don't go just putting like a mini ball in it yourself and shooting it off.
No, but there's a scientific process to making sure you're doing it correctly, which is what the people at SpaceX do.
No, like you just don't fire a 200-year-old musket. Like it doesn't make any, like you don't fire an old ass rocket that doesn't work. You don't fire an old ass gun.
Yeah, but they're not old ass. They're less than 5 years old.
But in the lifespan of rockets that have been used, like first of all, we've gone from rockets not being used more than once to these have already been used multiple
I know, but
times.
if you set a limit, if you tell me that I can use 120 gigs of data, I'm going to use all 120 gigs of data. I'm not going to be like, oh, I've used 500 gigs. I got to stop now.
It is a theoretical limit for like, if they had to, they could go more. But
you don't think Elon would push that?
No.
Why not?
Because he's not going to learn anything.
I get
bad science.
I get that, but it's still, to me, it's still a usable product.
But it's getting to the point
he's
where
all
it's
about
at the end of it. Like, this is expired milk. Like
it's not expired milk because you said it's got two things left in it.
So when we know that, your milk is good 2 weeks after the expiration date on there, if it's been refrigerated, but you open it up and it's like, it smells a little funky. It tastes a little weird. Like, you're probably going to throw that milk out.
Yeah, but there's no test that let me rephrase. The assumption is that if it's still reusable, the milk scenario is bad because that means that there would be something wrong with it, and it wouldn't. And if there's something wrong with it, then by golly, I don't think it should go again. But if there's nothing wrong with it, then that's, to me, that's good milk.
We know that, like, when milk smells funky, like milk, just old milk smells funky, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with it. Like, we could drink it. It's not going to kill us. You could drink expired milk and it's not going to.
You can't drink that rocket, Josh. It will kill you.
I'm just saying that this rocket is past its expiration date. It's starting to smell a little funky. They're not going to use the rocket again. Like it's not going to help them out.
I hope they
Like
do.
worst case scenario.
Just so I can just tell you that the milk is still good.
Worst case scenario, or best case scenario, the
It goes in a
rocket
museum.
launches and works just fine. And they're like, okay, cool. We learned nothing from that.
Which-
Worst case scenario, it kills somebody.
Worst case scenario,
It kills somebody.
it gets stolen, like the Declaration of Independence.
Gotta steal these Falcon 9 Heavy rockets.
I'm gonna steal
my
the
God.
Falcon 9
Nicolas
rockets.
Cage in National Treasure.
National-
SpaceX.
All right. So, but anyway, we've gone on about that for far too long. What's next? I know that they're already gearing up for something big, right?
Well, so, I mean, yes, the next thing that they're going to be looking at doing is sending.
I heard 5 rockets.
What do you mean 5 rockets?
I heard he was going to do the 5.
The BFR?
Yeah.
No, the BFR should just be one big rocket. The BFR technically stands for big fucking rocket.
I
And
told
that's what's gonna send
I told somebody about sex the other day.
Sexy?
Huh?
Sexy?
Yeah, sex.
Well, the Model Y is still going forward as planned. So there's going to be an S, an E, and an X.
Well, an S3,
X, and then Y. So,
yeah. I told somebody about that the other day, and they were like, "No way!" And then I had them look it up, and we were right.
yeah. And even like Tesla uses the Model 3 logo for ease, like in the Tesla name. So if you look at my Tesla, it says like T and then like line S.
Yeah.
Like the same way that my Model S has the S and then
Mhm.
LA. So, yep.
But yeah. So, I mean, what do you think the objective of the BFR is?
Send people to Mars.
No, I guess
The Falcon Heavy is going to possibly send people on orbit around Mars and possibly send people to the moon and like start doing some moon stuff again. But
so I had mixed signals about the Falcon. So when they said that it was gonna orbit for infinite number of years or whatever,
a couple billion years, assuming it doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, where is that orbiting? Just orbiting Mars?
So right now, so they were going for an elliptical orbit. What they wanted was an orbit that comes close to Earth, goes past the sun, goes past Mars, and then comes back around by Earth again, and then keeps doing this elliptical orbit. You know, once they make the trip around Mars, you know, Mars is going to be in some other place by the time it goes back to it. What they ended up doing is they actually sent it too far out, too fast. Now it's kind of in more of a circular orbit. It might still come close. From what I've seen, it might be able to be in the orbital path of Mars at some point in time, but probably not for a couple years. So it missed its window to make it close to Mars, because you got to remember, like, they're shooting this to make it. They want it to be where Mars is going to be at a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And if they overshoot it, then they're going to pass that point before Mars even gets there. If they undershoot it, then Mars is going to pass by before it gets there. And they kind of overshot it. So now it's going to be in kind of more of a large circular orbit. And it might get obstructed by Jupiter. So if it gets too far out of there.
So wait a second. Are you saying that Roadster might crash into Jupiter?
I mean, if it did, that would be a good thing, because like
Space junk,
gas giant. Yeah, then you won't have to worry about it contaminating anything. But no, it'll probably not ever crash into anything because space is huge.
Yeah.
So, it'll probably just keep orbiting around for billions
Did
of
they
years.
have any? I wonder if I didn't look. Did they have any like cool pictures of Earth like way off in the distance?
You didn't see some of the cool pictures?
I haven't looked yet.
Oh my God, there are beautiful pictures of like the Tesla Roadster, like looking at Earth. There was even, I mean, if you could watch the GoPros on the Tesla Roadster while it was in space for a while, the GoPros have since died, so you can't watch any more of the videos. But like, there were some just awesome shots. Elon Musk has a couple on his Twitter. But yeah, the spaceman, just, I mean, beautiful pictures. What is scientifically going to happen is that car is going to be blasted with solar rays, cosmic rays, radiation. You're going to start to see the metal, like the color of the Roadster will start fading. It'll eventually be bleached white. And then the pieces of metal are going to start breaking down from the intense radiation on it. The metal, the leather seats, like everything is going to start breaking down on it and just being thrown off into space. And there might even be some micrometeoroids that'll hit it and shoot the thing up.
There's no they didn't put anything up there that transmits images or anything between here and there.
Nope. They didn't want to have that kind of technology. I was hoping that they'd have some sort of like solar panel that would be able to charge some sort of batteries so they could keep the cameras on.
It seems like that would be
indefinitely. But yeah,
I mean, but how strong of a Wi-Fi signal would you have to have?
Not very strong, apparently. We get, I mean, satellites from way the hell out of there, just little tiny radio signal.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, and we could always pick them up next time we're close to its orbit, because, yeah, it's still going to be orbiting around where Earth is as well. But, yeah, I just thought it was very, very interesting launch. I loved the fact that it was all autonomous and that it was successful, and just awesome job. And yeah, one of my favorite things is the onboard computer on the car said "Don't panic."
Yeah,
like that was hilariously fun.
So he just man, that's all that was on that is just the Tesla.
Usually it's just like a giant concrete block, so at least they did something.
Yeah.
And inside the Tesla, it said, this Tesla made by humans on there. And then it also had a 4-dimensional like hard drive, essentially, with a compendium of human knowledge. I think it had Isaac Asimov's books on it.
I saw something about human DNA or something like that.
I didn't see that. Yeah, human DNA wouldn't last in space unshielded anyways.
Huh.
Speaking of unshielded human DNA.
Yeah. It was a good segue.
I know, right?
Vroom vroom.
Teslas don't go vroom vroom.
Teslas don't go vroom vroom. I mean, they go fucking insane.
You just hear wheels.
Screech. All right. So sounds like there has been a vaccine to kill cancer cells, but I mean, I didn't do too much reading into it. I pretty much just saw the headline.
Which is what happens when you read headlines.
But I read a couple bits in the first part of the body of the article, and they said something like the quote-unquote vaccine was injected into 90 mice or rats with tumors, and in something of like 80 of the 90 rats, it killed, or the vaccine or the concoction killed the tumor and also sought out other cancerous cells as well. Josh had something, he read a little bit about it.
So
I'm getting into Resident Evil here.
Always skeptical when I see things like this, and for good reason. It sounds like, while yes, like it might be true, doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as like humans and cancer is concerned. But they did show that it was 97% effective in their study against attacking various forms of cancer, not just tumors, but various cancers in lab rats. And it aided in T cell growth, which I thought was really hilarious because those of you that are Resident Evil fans, uh, the T virus was essentially a bioweapon that used the T cells to like like it was supposed to be like a cancer treatment, and then the cancer treatment turned into a viral uh, zombie outbreak. And it's exactly what Umbrella Corporation was working on at the time to cure cancer.
I don't know, man. That's some scary stuff.
Right? I thought it was really funny because they were talking about like revitalizing T cells, and I was like, wow, this is like right out of the Resident Evil.
Are we sure
like,
this isn't
book.
the plot for a movie?
I mean, if Mila Djokovic came out and she's like, aha, new Resident Evil movie, then I'd be like, oh, no.
I would go see it in a heartbeat.
Except the last Resident Evil movie kind of finished that.
Yeah, but she's also lived and come back to life how many times in that series?
Did you not see the final Resident Evil movie?
Like, maybe not. I don't know.
Spoiler alert for the final Resident Evil movie. She cures the world.
Oh. No, didn't see that one.
Oh, yeah. They make a cure that gets released into the air, and she like breaks the vial and sacrifices herself.
Oh, because
so she gets killed, but the cure gets released, and all the other
because the
zombies
cure would kill her cells, right?
Yeah.
It kills her T virus cells,
which was what was keeping her alive.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, can't believe you didn't know it. And then also, Alice was also the little girl, the Red Queen as well.
Wait.
Alice was a clone of the girl who influenced the Red Queen.
What?
Yeah, you really need to watch
Is that the last of the movie?
Yeah.
So when she was like fighting with herself and all the AI stuff, that was basically her, but a clone?
Yes. So like they go back, they tell like the original history. So you have like the original guy who made the cure to help save his daughter. And then that was like the cure that cured his daughter. And then they started the Umbrella Corporation, and then they developed the T virus, and then he used his daughter to be like the Red Queen in charge of the hive. And then as everyone was dying and stuff, this was like decades later, his like all these big wigs from Umbrella were like frozen. And so then they thawed them out at the end of the movie, and you find out that like old ass little girl is actually Alice, and like the Alice that we know and love from the whole entire thing, she was just a clone of the little girl who's actually now an old lady. And crazy for those of you guys that haven't seen the new Resident Evil. But yeah, that's what I thought of when I heard this cancer vaccine thing. I said, A, be very skeptical about anything you read like that, because headlines lie, or headlines mislead. And then B, also, like, it does kind of sound something straight out of Resident Evil. But we should probably wrap up this podcast today.
Yeah, definitely.
So everyone be excited for Planet Comicon. We hope to see you there. We want to give you guys another shout out to our Sexy Nerd of the Month, Stephen Dodds, co-founder of Juke Smart AI Gaming Drones. Just, fun gaming drones. Listen for more from him. Hopefully we'll have some more talks with Stephen Dodds in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
we'd like to promote where you can find us on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Find us on SexyNerdScience.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, soon to be Spotify.
And then you guys can get T-shirts and mugs, as we found out, stickers, and pretty much anything else. If you guys want something from Teespring, just let us know. We can do it up for you and make sure that it's available for you to buy. Additionally, you can support us on our Patreon, soon to be released here as well. I know we keep saying that, but we just got to finalize a few things here with specific partners right now to get that going. And then obviously audible.com or audibletrial.com /SexyNerdScience
or SexyNerdScience.com/audible.
Yep. And you guys can get a free month of Audible and one free audiobook with that whole registration there. And help us out. So go ahead and do that because we would really appreciate it. And so would our pocketbooks.
And thank you for those that already have.
I said pocketbooks.
Oh, no. I don't have any books in my pockets.
No, you have a bunch of them because you have Audible.
You didn't. Books that's why on my phone.
That's why. That was the pocketbook joke.
Oh.
Like it will help our pocketbooks, but it will also help our pocketbooks. Whatever.
I get it.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
Woo.